How's it going, YouTube? E30 Source. I know I haven't made a video in forever. Finally, it's the summer and I can start cranking out more videos. But today, I figured I'd show you guys how to install new rear sway bar links. Okay, so some of the things you're going to need. You're going to need your new rear sway bar links. I went with the originals. I just got to drive an E30 with upgraded ones. I just didn't like it. I just felt like it was a little too stiff. And it also squeaked a little bit. I guess the rubber inside is a little harder than the original. But I just went with the originals. It's only rear sway bar links. I mean, it's not going to make a drastic difference as far as the drivability of the car. Next thing you're going to need is definitely a 13mm wrench. If you have the whole assortment like I do with the Craftsman and ratchets and wrenches, that's fine. You may need a couple extra wrenches, but I would definitely have a 13mm wrench. Also, you're going to need a jack and jack stands. You may need a gun to get off the wheel, or you can just use a little wrench or the tire iron that came with the car. So yeah, basically that's it. And optional but highly recommended is peanut M&Ms to finish the job.
Start by jacking up the car and put it on a jack stand because you don't want the car to fall on you. Once you have the car up in the air on jack stands on both sides, then take out the center cap and take out the 4 lug nuts holding on the wheel. It makes it a whole ton easier to take them out with the wheels off. Then take the wheel off and set it aside. Here you can see the old link, which is all worn out, the bushings are all shot, and the rubber's all dry rotted inside. This can give a little clanking noise if you go over a heavy bump or a pothole. Here it is. On E30s, it's actually pretty easy to take off the rear link. You can get a 13mm wrench as well as a 13mm ratchet on either side and just take off the nut and bolt. Then the whole thing comes sliding out. If it gives you a little bit of trouble, I would suggest spraying it down with like WD-40 or penetrating oil because it makes it a lot easier to pull it off the sway bar. Here you can see the new link sliding it on. I really don't know how I muscled it onto the sway bar, but it was a big fight. One thing I would suggest if I could do it all over again is I'd get a big pair of pliers and you just grab onto the back of the sway bar with it and you can press it on with the pair of pliers. It makes it a lot easier. And also spraying it down with WD-40 on the sway bar as well as the link makes it a lot easier. Once you have it on, then I would suggest sliding it into the bracket and put the bolt and the nut on either side pretty quick because it likes to move around and it'll like to slide back off the sway bar. But that's basically it to putting it back on. It's pretty easy. And in my case, I actually had to take off the little nut that holds on the bracket itself on the trailing arm. This made it a lot easier to put it onto the link, and I actually had to use a screwdriver to feed it through and make sure each thing lines up. But at that point, then I stuck through the bolt and the nut and it was good to go. Then I tightened it up with the ratchet and wrench, and basically I think the torque was like 50 foot-pounds. I didn't torque it, you don't really need to. Just have it tight enough. And I finished it up by putting the wheel back on. I know on the left side there's the emergency brake cable, and that's supposed to run through a bracket that connects itself onto the sway bar link bolt. However, a lot of those brackets break over time because they are old plastic. So you shouldn't have to worry about it. Just make sure it's not interfering or you don't have it caught through anything. And after that, you should be good. The process is exactly the same, and good luck. And I just wanted to show you a quick clip of the old versus the new. You can see the old, the rubber is just all dry rotted, and this is probably the originals of the car, so these things are 27 years old. And so, yeah, that's no good. And here's the new one. You see the rubber's basically brand new. It's a lot stiffer. It'll cause the car to feel a lot better going around a corner. So that's just a comparison. Thank you for tuning in to E30 Source, and stay tuned for the 20th video.